I always do that, and it bugs me. I hate forgetting. Me, I was having a thought that I forget what it was, and not getting that statement or that question or whatever it was asked. It's like accidentally closing a tab on your computer, and you just like, wait, what was that? And I just feel like some idea or something was lost of value to me, and it stresses me out.
I'm sorry. Is that what this episode is going to be like? You're going to just forget the commercials that you liked and didn't like?
No, we can get into it, but this is probably for me one of the more forgettable Super Bowl commercial nights in general. I was not thrilled, but there were some highlights, higher lights. What's the word where it's not a fully a highlight, but better
It's
than a yeah.
not a low light, but
There's
it's a
some
light.
alright,
There
but
were some ads.
I struggled a little bit, but yeah, we can get into it now. So
So I gotta say, this outfit sponsored by Farmer Wants a Wife.
I saw you cracking up on your TikTok reaction.
Oh
That
my
was
gosh,
funny.
that was my wife. She was just losing it in the background. She just couldn't handle
When
that.
it first came on, did you think it was gonna be some commercial for something else, like a twist, or did you think that was a real show? And like, did you know from the beginning?
I
Some people
I was just along for the ride. I didn't know.
It was fun, and I played like 4 or 5 times, like not 5, but like 2 or 3 times. But yeah, some people I knew were like, I thought it was gonna like be some like remember like when or was it Chris Hemsworth? Yeah, did like the Australia like the movie premiere, but like a
Oh
Crocodile
yeah,
Dundee, but it was just an ad for Australia. Some people I knew
yeah.
thought it was going to be some kind of like meta, where it's actually an ad for something else. But no, it's just straight up a TV show of farmers looking for a wife.
Just amazing. I might actually have to watch an episode or two just because
Oh yeah.
the trailer was well cut. Yes.
Okay, that was good. I'm
Yeah.
also jealous that your TikToks usually do better than mine, and your Twitter comments. We were sharing Twitter on the same account, commenting, posting, retweeting, etc. And I think most of yours got more engagement than mine. So I need to know your secrets.
I don't know. I don't know
You're
if
better
that's
with the
true.
people than me.
I'm just funnier. That's all it is.
I guess so.
No. No.
Okay, so tell me, do you want to start with like the top ones that do you have any overarching like messages or takeaways from the Super Bowl commercials?
They all sucked. I like really. I'm gonna forget about all of these ads. None of them are gonna be, except for maybe one. I don't think I'm gonna like hang on to any of them really.
Yeah.
From like a creative perspective, I thought they were all pretty like what you could expect.
And having
Lots
monitored
of celebrities, and that just got
packed in there.
annoying. Like I thought it was going to be fun, but it just wasn't.
And having been monitoring Twitter all throughout, and not obviously not seeing every tweet, but I don't know about you, but I was following the Super Bowl commercials hashtag like the whole time.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm sure I missed some takes that weren't using that hashtag, but that hashtag over most of it was generally negative. So if that's any indication of what
Yeah.
most people thought, they were like, these all seem especially bad this year. This has been let down. This is crap. Like that's mostly what I saw.
Didn't even Dan Rather chime in and
Yeah. So
if
it's
he
bad.
thinks they suck, then you know they really are bad. Speaking of bad, one of the ones that just like I can't. It was just so bad. Was the Jeep commercial,
That's
like
the
the
one that's like
singing,
dancing,
dancing
right?
animals? I couldn't. It was just so bad.
We just talked recently about the ads of the year in 2022 and how you liked the Jeep Odyssey, like whether they were like singing the 2000. What was the year?
2001
21.
Space
Yeah,
Odyssey.
Space Odyssey.
Yeah,
And that was like,
that was more creative than whatever the. Mm.
yeah, I didn't love that one too much.
Emily was like, Emily's my wife, by the way. She hung around for like the first half of the game, and after during that commercial, she was like, "This makes me ashamed to drive a Jeep. We own a Wrangler, and she drives a Wrangler, and she's like, this is embarrassing to Jeep owners."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, there's their what's the word? Like the review from like the Love Group, because you guys are like you're Jeep people, right?
Yeah,
But that one didn't reach. If you offend the Jeep owners, then you probably didn't do something
yeah.
right. Yeah.
I don't care if they're EVs. That's cool. It had nothing to do with the product they were selling. Hmm.
Okay.
Bad execution. Were there any that you really, really, really disliked?
Okay, so I need you to. Yes, the answer. I have my definite like lowest one, I think, but I must be missing something. You need to. I think you actually tweeted about this. So catch me up on the context of M and M's. I know there's been Eminem has had some like backlash from people who were like saying they were like too woke, or like they were the gender and the sexualizing of the Eminem, like the whole thing about like the Eminem characters became
Yes.
momentarily controversial. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I know that was like a thing. And they like took
Yes.
them away, and they also released Eminem's had like the women's pack where it was just like the purple and green M&Ms.
Hmm.
Anyway, so I know that's been happening. I've been following very closely, but that's the only context I have. I did not understand that. To me, it's like you showed up, you suggested a terrible, nasty flavor of this clam flavor for your product, and ended the commercial. And I was like, that didn't make me want it. That you just now put you associate the nasty taste of clam covered in chocolate in my mind and ended your commercial. I thought it was terrible, but either it was terrible or I
And
missed something
maybe
and I was not a target audience for it.
this is my interpretation of it, and I will see if it is what it is. But there was a specific political commentator. I'll name him Tucker Carlson, who
Okay.
like has this epic rant about the desexualization of the female M&Ms,
Yeah.
like how they're moving from like high heels to sneakers, and one's the peanut shape, and oh, that's such an unattractive shape. And it's the most ridiculous rant ever, and he's so serious.
He's mad about
And
his
then
M&Ms.
it spurred all these people who are like smashing the all female packs of M&Ms, but they
Yeah.
had to buy them first. Like it just it didn't make any sense. And so like my gut feeling is that M&M's did this to be like, we don't care if you think we're disgusting. Like, we're not trying to be attractive. We're candy, and it is what it is. And
Hmm.
with clams being a euphemism for certain body parts, and especially related to female characters, I don't know. I kind of thought it was just a little bit of an fu to the anti M&M spokes candy crowd.
I still don't like it then. Because that not the strategic move to stick it. It's fine. Yeah, flat back it whatever's happening currently. But like to me, there's better ways to do that. Like that it didn't land.
Yeah,
I don't think. Like
it didn't. It
you
didn't.
just
It didn't
suggested a
really
nasty
land.
flavor and ended your ad still. Like do it because also not everyone who saw it knew the context of that, so they're probably super confused. And those who did, it's like okay, no smack, like really clap back and like make fun of something instead of being like, look, we can be even more terrible. Like I don't understand. I just don't understand the. I don't understand it. And why? What is the? I know the Maya Rudolph, what the Ma and the Ma and Yaz they call it. But like, why? I get it's her name, but why? Why? What are you selling? Is this going to be something they can buy somewhere? I just don't get it. It was like chaotic, weird nastiness, and so I feel like it was a failed opportunity.
I yeah. If my interpretation is correct, I do think they failed,
Yeah,
especially on a big stage like that. It's just
yeah.
like that's something you put on your YouTube channel to be funny, and you
That,
put on your socials, and
sure. Well, I mean,
yeah,
do something about. And again, I don't understand the full context, so I'm not saying I'd have a perfect alternative. But something about the look of your M and M's, or the femininity, or something about the packs that you're selling, like how you're putting colors in the pack, or something about make a character that looks like Tucker Carlson. That's a reference, something like that. But I just is like I'm Maya Rudolph. We're calling this something different, and they taste like clams. M&Ms, and the commercial ended. What the heck are you talking about? So I don't know.
that's
I
a little
missed.
bit like that avocado commercial. It
Yeah.
was also very WTF.
So you're not a fan of that one?
I was a little indifferent about it.
That one I thought was trying to do too much with a short spot. That it could have been like a series of things. Like if you build, because it's like okay, oh, they're spoofing like the Adam and Eve story, And then to hold on, but then it's like also the fact that are you saying like them being naked would have continued? Was that the joke? Oh no, it's about like then the big avocado. Oh, it's like avocado was like replacing the apple and culture. Like it was like three layers of like as you're kind of catching
Yeah.
up, it ends over, and you're like, okay, that was just a weird. It's like a naked people and like avocados and a city that exists in and Adam and Eve, and it's a little bit too much in a short time. Would have worked better if
Yeah.
like a 5-part series or something like that.
Which is a great commentary in and of itself for the hipsters who eat them.
too much. Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it's funny how many ads we get during the Super Bowl of things that we're probably already consuming, like Doritos, beer, Pringles, peanuts, M&Ms, and avocados. Like so many of those things were sitting at people's Super Bowl party as they're getting advertised to them about those things. I don't know why that makes me laugh, but
I don't know. Maybe it's partly just like you feel like part of the crowd. Like, ooh, yeah, this thing I like. They're participating.
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so those are ones. What's like your top favorite ones?
Oh, hold on. I got more rants.
Oh, okay, yeah. Do rants.
I also thought the Michelob Ultra ads that were spoofing Caddyshack were just awful.
I
thought they were poorly written and just
So I am not quite old enough apparently to be the target market for Super Bowl commercials because I knew what most of the references were: the Pepsi, the Michelob, the what else? There's lots of different references to old. The whole theme of the night was like, hey, remember this from back in the day, and bringing it back in front of you.
Lots of callbacks.
And all those things, I kind of knew what they were, but they didn't directly resonate with me. Like the Any Given Sunday speech, Serena Williams. Like I'm like, okay, this doesn't really. I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but like, I don't even. Yeah, I just wasn't in the market for those, I guess, and so I can't. Maybe they're better ads than I thought they were, but yeah, the Michelob, for example, just fell short for me, and I was like, okay, I think it's a Caddyshack reference, but like,
yeah,
okay, whatever.
Yeah,
yawn.
The other thing, I could not. No, all right. One different point first. The Blue Moon ad with Coors and Miller Lite fighting. I thought that was cheating.
Because they own by the same.
Cheating. Because they're all owned by the same conglomerate. Like
I wonder. I'm like, can they show the logos? Can they straight up use the other people's product? And then like, oh well, they they own all of them.
They were cheating. Yeah. They were cheating. So like it comes across as like risky, and they even had me at first too. I was like, oh, that was clever, but then
it's no risk.
You think about it, like no, there was no risk in that ad. There was nothing. So I felt like that was cheating. So therefore, does not make my top list.
Gotcha. Understand. Then, I don't disagree with any of those.
There were some very emotional ads, the dog ads and stuff, but I didn't care. Are
you not a fan of those ones for like any? Do you don't want that in the Super Bowl at all, or those ones just weren't emotional enough to?
No, like it just none of them really like landed with me.
Because that's something I like a good non-comedic commercial sometimes. Like I like because I respect them more almost because I think it's harder to do to gather. Not that comedy can't be difficult and you can really do it well, but sometimes it's low-hanging fruit or just kind of shock value silly stuff isn't that hard to conceive of. But to make me feel something like a stronger emotion, I'm like, ooh, that was like a good. So I give props to those. But some people I know are like, I don't care how good that is. It's not for the Super Bowl. I want to see just funny stuff. And I tisk at them as a purist of the industry. But
no, I think it's okay to have a serious ad during the Super Bowl. I think there have been other good ones in the past.
Yeah.
Just none of these landed for me this year.
Yeah, those are some of the ones I thought I would rank a little higher because I thought they did something. But yeah, and on the scale of like emotion driving ads, they were still I had way better ones in years past. But I like some of those more than just the weird, random, silly ones. Like, I think it's the M&M's one, the DoorDash one. I can't even really describe to you what was even happening. I just know it was DoorDash.
Something about groceries.
It was just chaotic and weird. And DoorDash is a fun, trendy, like, like Uber is a different service. Well, they offer food as well, actually. Uber Eats, but like
Hmm.
they're kind of a similar a ride share or delivery type thing. Uber killed the DoorDash in this Super Bowl as far as the commercials.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Diddy commercials. Did
yeah,
you like those? I thought they were fine.
it was good. It was yeah. Again, it was one of the better ones I thought from the Super Bowl. But this Super Bowl, none of them would be in my top list of all time Super Bowl ads. Like it was just forgettable, but it was kind of funny. Those one hit wonder kind of people. And
Yeah,
okay, anyway, so yeah, I thought it was somewhat clever. They did a good job of having like this line people could repeat. Diddy don't do jingles. Like that could be that's something like a little hug, a little
yeah,
earworm. So they did good in that sense. But yeah, it was okay. It was
yeah.
forgettable that it was Uber. Like you might see that and be like, so what? Uber was not featured at all.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
But
that's true. I
yeah,
kind of forgot about that ad. Um, let's see. Do I have any more rants? Really? Yeah, not really. All right. I've talked. I feel like I've talked a lot. I
I'll
need you
talk
to
a little
say
bit.
something.
So I was talking with some people in my agency about some ads today, and we were thinking about we were also kind of the general consensus is mostly disappointed that weren't that great, and it's easy to sit up there and be like, okay, well, yeah, could you do better? I think I could, but I was also thinking about why how does some of these they cost $7 million for a spot this year? How does some of these put that much money and do so poorly? And we were thinking about we went up and actually looked up some numbers. I can't remember, I don't have them in front of me. I should have probably brought it, but like Doritos, for example, has like and I'm going to probably just say the wrong number, but like a bill, like tons and tons of money for ads for marketing every year. Um, like Jeep, Dodge, Ram, tons of money to spend. That a $7 million spot for Super Bowl, which we think is like the big leagues. That's like running a Facebook campaign. Like
Yeah,
that's like 4% of their budget. And so I'm not saying they should not care. They do a good job, but for a lot of these companies, it's like this much of their investment that year in marketing, and maybe some of them kind of just they're like, yeah, that's good. Let's try that. Let's run that. And there's always going to be next year if it doesn't hit that much. And versus the companies that have less money and it's a bigger percent of their spend, they need it to do more for them than the other ones do. So I'm not saying anybody should try to do a crappy ad. I think they should all be better than they were this year. But it's like Jeep didn't need it to be as good as Popcorners did and the Breaking Bad. Like
sure.
that
Yeah,
they needed it to do more for them because it's a little more dependent on that than Jeep is. So that was interesting
yeah.
perspective. Like
That's a good point.
see in context. Would I freak out if one Facebook campaign we ran wasn't the best ever? Like yeah, I'd be disappointed. I want to do better, but it's not the end of the world. For some of these big behemoth companies, that's what a Super Bowl ad is. It's just try again next time. Unless you get like,
Yeah,
unless it's
yeah.
bad, you start getting bad press, and like you can really hurt yourself because it's like it is
Sure.
it is going to be critiqued and seen by a lot of people, so you can do damage. But if it's not a winner every time, they're not out that much money comparatively or relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if there were any that I would say were like so bad that it damaged the brand this year.
except M&M's. I don't know.
I I don't think so.
But yeah,
It was weird. Yeah, I don't know.
FanDuel
I don't know.
Gronk's
I don't know.
halftime kick.
Oh, that was disappointing. I'd put that in the disappointing column.
That was
That was
weird. I'm
there
like,
was so
wait,
much lead up, and then
Kate, was it? So I know it was like a live commercial, but it didn't seem live to me. It was too
no, no.
polished.
There's no way that it was actually
That's what
live,
I
right?
thought, but people on my age, maybe we're looking like idiots if the answer's already out online. I haven't looked this up since. But people that I was talking to today were saying, no, it was definitely live. And I'm like, I'm not 100% convinced it was live. Just like do you remember back in 2017, Adam Driver did a live commercial for Snickers?
Mm-mm.
But it wasn't live. The whole point of it was like, it was this live commercial that was going to happen during the Super Bowl. And he came out, but like, he came out late, so he missed his mark on everything. This person did this, and this person fell, and this person, and like the whole scene crumbled down. It was just chaotic and bad, and as if it went terrible. And then later on, there was a spot where he was like talking to the camera and like apologizing, and the whole thing was like, "You're not you when you're hungry," kind of thing. Like, don't try to do. You can't do a live Super Bowl spot when you're hungry. Um, but it wasn't live because it was meant to be, right? It was like
Yeah.
all special effects. So I thought this was kind of the same thing. Like it wasn't, but then why would you make him miss it? So maybe it had to be live. Why would you make him miss it? I don't know.
I mean, maybe they recorded it as like a one-off event, and therefore it was live.
But then they
But
could have
then
kept trying until he made it. Like,
they could have, but then it would feel less authentic.
no, but I'm saying if it wasn't live, he might take 20 times to kick the ball, but you're going to get the one in which he makes it, and that's going to be the.
No.
But if
I know.
So it had to be live. Why would you make him miss it if it wasn't actually filmed live?
Because it feels more real that he actually misses it.
But they still gave everyone the reward. You still got what you were going to get it.
Well, of course. Because those promos get you even more money. There's a reason they do those.
I thought, yeah. I didn't follow up on that and see. All I know is Twitter was like, F you, Gronk. Everyone was just like so mad at him when he missed it.
I wonder if there are a bunch of side bets going on.
Maybe.
Ridiculous. Okay. Let's see. Things I liked. I liked on the weird side, this would be of like top 5. This would be number 5. Would be the Squarespace ad with Adam Driver. I thought that was clever and weird. It's not going to stick with me, but I thought it was interesting enough. It was different enough that it stood out.
Adam Driver's an interesting character where a lot of people put celebrities in the Super Bowl ads, but they'll try to have that celebrity based on their known personality or persona to put them in a situation that is doing something. Adam Driver is such a quirky, unique, memed kind of guy. Whether you have him act funny on purpose, you have him act serious, you have him act emotional, you have him act like he's really like acting deeply like in a movie. No matter what it is, people just like Adam Driver because it's like you just have him on screen and it's going to be like amusing because he's just an amusing, weird guy. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He can't do much wrong, I don't think.
And he's self-aware. He knows he's kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you seen? I don't know if this is really your scene or not, but Stephen Colbert's late night show, he has like a running gag where he just will start gushing about how attractive Adam Driver is.
I've seen clips from a show, but I haven't seen that before. No.
Every 3 or 4 episodes, it'll be like somehow the writers find a way to bring it back, and.
That's funny. No, I didn't. I mean, yeah, I've seen his show before, but I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Finish.
Nope.
I was just thinking out loud. I'm trying to think what I liked. I kind of like this. I'm split on this one. I liked the Doritos one, the Jack Harlow, the triangle, because I thought it was like a clever, fun. I like those things where it's like it portrays it as if it was like a serious thing, but it's clearly ridiculous. Like it's like, oh, he's really considering changing, instruments or his music to play the triangle, but it was like clearly silly. But I'm split because it wasn't as much of a tie to the Doritos product as things could have been. And I know Super Bowl ads are not trying to.
It's the shape. How can it not be tied to the product?
Because there was. I can't remember. In the beginning, did it show him get inspired by the chip or just the shape of a triangle?
Yeah, it was him or someone in the recording studio with him was like eating Doritos.
So maybe it's better than I remember. I need to watch it back. Again, I liked it. I liked it, but I know that Super Bowl ads are purely for like memorability and awareness. You're not trying to usually drive like direct sales, so it doesn't have to be all about like the shape and the texture. Those are not the place for Super Bowl ads. But I felt like it could have connected a little more to the product. Where it's like, oh yeah, like have him eating chips or something, like I don't know. So a little bit of and another chip thing, Pringles. The concept of your hand and stuck on the thing is like clever and funny, but you did it before, so like I kind of give you points, like you continued something, like it's like it's kind of almost nostalgic in a sense, like I've seen that commercial before, but you had a whole chance to drop something new and you just recycled the same joke. So lose points in that sense, but
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I wasn't like I thought the Doritos commercial was disappointing. Doritos has had some really good commercials in the past, and you kind of like look forward.
That's true compared to other ones.
And this one just wasn't it. But
That's true.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't as good. One of the best ones is when the husband and wife are having like the ultrasound on the baby, and he's eating Doritos, and like the baby's like reacting on the ultrasound, and then she grabs like, pay attention, like throws it, and then the thing. Yeah. Anyways, you know how that ends. That was funny. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that's a good one. I did like the Popcorners commercial.
That one, I think I recognize that it is really good. I have not seen Breaking Bad to know. Like, I've seen clips from it and stuff, but I haven't watched the whole series through. And again, I'm an uncultured swine, but so I knew what it was getting at, and so I'm like, I think this is probably really good for people who've seen this, but I didn't understand how like accurate to the show it was, which I've been told is like it nailed it.
Very, very accurate, and I think that's part of why it worked. Is it had the actors in it, which everybody was doing, but it actually had them in their right roles,
in character.
They were called. They recalled like classic lines from the show. They brought back one of the drug dealers who was from like the first season, and
he like really acted like the way he did, right?
Yeah, and it felt like a little more like a real cohesive callback ad versus whatever the hell those Michelob Ultra ads were.
How'd you feel? So one of the ones I've heard most like split, like some people really, really liked it, some people hated it, are the T-Mobile ads. There's two of them, right? Just two? Or the Bradley Cooper and his mom, and then the John Travolta and the Scrubs guys.
I thought they were stupid.
How come? Just didn't do anything for you, or particular reasons?
I thought the Bradley Cooper one was a decent idea, but it was supposed to be like a real person kind of thing with like their mom and
feel good kind of.
But we've seen that before, and it didn't come off as authentic as I think they wanted it to. And then I've never been a big John Travolta fan. Okay, the Scrubs guys were fine, but I didn't understand why they were there. And
they've been the T-Mobile guys lately. They've been doing those,
right?
And they just threw John Travolta in. But the Grease crowd is much older than the Scrubs crowd, and you try to mix worlds. And then here's my problem with, again, this is me. I know I'm going to sound like I'm some elitist of the advertising industry, but I can't help but view ads in this way.
Camden.
And I have no Super Bowl commercial under my belt, so take it for what it's worth. But like, to me, I thought the Bradley Cooper one was okay, not great in execution, but the concept was okay. But the John Travolta one, to me, just seems so lazy. Like, hey, what if we just had the character from that show just come back and sing the exact same song? Nothing to do with the phone or anything. Let's just have him do it again for nostalgia. And it's like, that's a 5-second idea I might have. You didn't give me something. And it's the whole essence of like, if you're going to bring in a celebrity for an ad, don't even worry about have a concept, have an ad and a hook and a message. And if a celebrity happens to fit to that, go try to get them. But don't just say, it's good a celebrity, and then how can we fit them into this? Like, then you're not going to be on brand. Like, you got to. And so that's why I know I'm being a hater, but I'm like, sure, it was probably a good throwback. People who loved Grease and all that, sure. But like, there was no reason to have John Travolta singing that same song from his movie in a T-Mobile ad. It was just get your attention for a minute, and so I felt like it was a cop-out. Like, it's just not creative.
Yes. Yeah, agreed. It was dumb.
2 thumbs. Damn. I switched plans from T-Mobile after that. Just kidding.
The one ad that like actually made me laugh was the Ram premature electrification ad. Like, that one actually had me laughing. None of the other ones as funny or whatever that they were. Like, that one actually, like, I was LOLing.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the top ones, if not the top one, for accomplishing what you need to with the Super Bowl commercial. They introduced the fact that they have this electric vehicle that's kind of like, hey, we have a truck version. And again, people forget, I'm not talking about the specs if you think it's a good performing car or anything, but let's just talk about like, oh, Dodge Ram has an electric version coming out. So now I'm aware of the product, and they kind of nodded to features and the fact that it supposedly does better and doesn't leave you like stranded and stuff. But like, it wasn't the main. That would be a boring ad if it was just look how far we can go on our electric charge. Like, it was a slight nod to the feature through a humorous concept with good copywriting. that also would only hit the target audience really, because young kids, you don't have to worry about like polluting their minds because they're not going to get it. But the person that you want to get it, who's also most likely to buy a truck, gets it, thinks it's funny, understand the product and the value, and it's memorable. And it wasn't too far. It wasn't like super crass or anything, but it was like. So I think they accomplished it. I think that's probably one of, it might be the top one of the night.
For like true advertising purposes. I think you're right. That's a great breakdown of that. I just thought it was freaking funny. And
it was funny.
I also think I can't take credit for this original thought, but someone else on Twitter said it, but it's a little ironic to be when there's like a joke around people who buy big trucks are compensating for something. And then that's the theme of their ad for their next.
It's like, oh, is it close? I get this.
Yeah.
This seems familiar.
Like speaking directly to their audience.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know about how the actual truck is, but so I think, it was a good, and it's getting talked about, and it was, I heard a couple people say, because I said like young kids won't get it, and you don't have to worry. There is an age where someone like would ask some uncomfortable conversations, like, what? I don't get the joke, Dad, or explain to me what it's talking about. Why is this funny? And having to like explain, well, it's like kind of referencing this thing.
It's annoying when you start and stop. Stop.
You just like looking down like.
Oh, so good. So good.
And that's the kind of humor I prefer. Like not necessarily like the somewhat crass humor, but like that is clever humor. I get bugged at Super Bowl commercials and commercials in general that are just relying purely on shock value. Like where it's just, oh, that was a weird, crazy, goofy thing that like caught me off guard or some. And it's like, again, I feel like it's just kind of lazy. If it's purely, we're going to demand your attention for 30 seconds. Sure, I could do all kinds of stuff to have that happen, but get my attention in a way that I feel glad I gave you my attention. That's what a good Super Bowl or any commercial is. Getting their attention is crucial, and that's the first step. But then make me glad I gave it to you afterward, and then it's a good commercial.
Yeah.
Like one that didn't do that is the QR code one for that game where you had to scan it and it takes you to like the dude's Twitter.
I forgot about that.
Like follow his Twitter account.
Did you scan it?
No, but I saw everyone on Twitter that like did, and it cracked me up.
Oh my gosh. Scan now. That was like the line of the. Yeah, that was weird.
Man, Coinbase just made everyone be like, QR code? Is that what sells like?
Yeah, they were
commercial.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
there were lots of QR codes last night,
which is like an old tech comeback alert for.
I know.
Yeah,
but it's good. It's got its purpose.
I've always been a fan of it. I've always wanted to use it more, but it's always like, oh yeah, QR codes. But yeah, it was a little bit annoying though if everyone wants to do it. But what did you think of the? So there's lots of celebrity cameos, like lots of them, which there always are, but they were especially packed in this year.
Yeah.
Are there any that you really liked? Like I guess you said the Breaking Bad one.
Yeah.
Were there any
That's
others
the
that
only... oh no, there was one other. Number 2 on my list had a celebrity cameo in it, but I didn't realize it was a celebrity until afterwards. And now I can't remember his name. The Bud Light commercial, the Hold commercial.
Oh, Miles Teller.
Miles Teller, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him.
Oh, really?
When I first saw it.
Well, I didn't know was that the girl in there is his actual wife. So.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a little more.
That makes me like it even more.
Yeah, that's his wife. And so it was like a little looking. I mean, obviously it's fake, but like it made you feel a little more relatable, like a real moment kind of thing. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Is number 2 for me. I thought it was a good like slice of life little story and how your product can just brighten up an annoying moment, and
you'll hear that sound again probably and remember, oh yeah, it's like the Bud Light, it's the Bud Light sound instead of just the Hold sound. Like, yeah.
And we've all done that like freezing thing when you think they're coming back on the phone. It was relatable. I thought it was very relatable, very well done.
That was a good one. What did you think of the Dunkin' Donuts, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez one? Not so much.
I didn't care.
That was middle of the
You?
road for me. Middle of the road, but that one seemed to get some love on Twitter and stuff that I was seeing. I think the things that gave it points in its favor is it was kind of more authentic than some of the other celebrity ones because this is me. It didn't really land with me that much, but I did some research after the fact. Apparently, he's pretty well known for actually being seen with Dunkin' Donuts. Like he's actually, and it's from Boston where he's
Right.
associated with. And so it wasn't like, oh, I paid somebody to do this. It was like, I think he actually was already a customer of Dunkin' Donuts before. So it seemed authentic. And the fact that they didn't just set up a funny commercial that was like staged, that he actually went and did the drive through for a short time and had real reactions in the windows from people and stuff. Obviously, when Jennifer Lopez at the end came up, that was not authentic. But like, so it was
Yeah.
kind of like more of a real moment capture with a guy who really likes this product and a couple that's in the current and people knew who they are and stuff. So it wasn't like to me like, oh my gosh, that's so funny or anything. But I was like, it was a little more strategic use of celebrity personas
Sure.
than
Yeah.
hey, just go buy this random person's time to go show up randomly, like Pringles and the Megan Trainor one. Just her like petting, like Megan Trainor showed up in that one, but she just didn't do anything. There's no reason for her. It could have been anybody sitting there. They're like, let's get Megan Trainor, and yeah,
Yeah. Who can we just throw in this commercial?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's a fair take. I hmm.
it's okay. It's okay.
What ad in your mind won the Super Bowl race? What is like the top ad for you this year?
It's hard. I think the Ram one with the premature electrification might be in the running, or it definitely is in the running. Might be the number one. Um, I should have pulled up a list in front of me. I guess if that's all I can think of, maybe that's it. Yeah, maybe that's the one I'd pick.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you which one won. Yeah, I'll just tell you. You know what? You're gonna have to agree with me.
Okay.
Um, the the Tubi app ad, that one won.
I
And
forgot
that
about
the
that.
reason I feel like it won is one. It wasn't a typical ad. It was
You're
very
talking about the
much
one that they had three different ad spots.
yeah, not the rabbits,
Okay.
which were creepy but interesting. The one I don't remember the third one, but
The rabbit
the
came back a third time, different way.
oh
But
I
yeah.
I missed that.
Okay.
Um, but the one that made it look like your TV was changing apps and then
Yeah.
browsing, like that was clever. It it probably got more chatter on Twitter than any of the other ads that at least when I was paying attention.
Yeah.
Which means a lot of people saw the name Tubi
Yeah. It's something
outside of just watching the TV.
and that's a problem where like something to be trending on social media, it's always good no matter who any brand attention is like is what they wanted. But it's better for them because they are not you can click over and immediately start downloading that app when you're also seeing like, you can't go buy Doritos right there next to it, but like from Twitter, it's a short little step over a jump to go get Tubi, and so that's something that it's a good space to be talked about. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot about that. That was a good one. That was good because it just quickly showed the use case as well. I'm pretty sure this isn't. I'm not knocking them for this, but like I'm pretty sure they got the inspiration from that from the I forget who did it before when they did the fake power outage. Is during the Super Bowl. Do you remember that a few years ago? It like cut back to it looked like it cut back to the game, but then it went like and went black, like the channel was lost, and then it's like black for a minute, and then it popped. I didn't look up who it was, and then it popped up and was like, wouldn't it be bad if like this happened? I think it was like some cable provider or something, and it was like
Oh, interesting.
people thought they lost the game or like scrambling like to go figure out that they got unplugged or what happened, and it wasn't really gone. Same kind of thing,
That's clever.
but
Yeah, that
yeah,
is very similar. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's a good one. I can see. Yeah, that could be number one. But overall, I just didn't love
I
them. Like I there's so many ones in the
no.
past. I think about some of the all time. I think Coinbase last year was really great. Not because it was just the boldness and simplicity of Coinbase. Forget what you think about what crypto has turned into since then. But like Coinbase killed it. I think about Dodge Ram, the same brand. I think back to like So God made a farmer. Like, do you remember that one? An emotional kind of like it was like a work of art, and I was like, oh, good. Um,
Yeah.
the the first time the dancing babies, they brought babies back, but it was the first time the dancing babies came, or the talking
Hmm.
babies and dancing babies. Evian. There's been multiple babies. There's just things that have been better. The Tide commercials, like the series that they kept popping up. You kept thinking it was an ad for something else. It was actually this is a Tide ad.
Oh
Like
yeah,
no one
yeah.
touched anything like that this Super Bowl. Like those are just
Mm-mm.
better, creative.
That's true. The one emotional ad that probably should get mentioned here would be the farmer's dog ads.
Oh, I thought you were going to say farmer seeking a wife.
No, not farmer wants a wife.
What's that
No,
wife?
the farmer's dog ad that was
Yeah,
good emotional, good storytelling. It's just everybody relies on animals right now for emotions, and Amazon tried it not
yeah.
that long after, and that fell flat after, in my mind, fell flat after the farmer's dog
I
ad.
thought that Amazon was actually good, and it kind of like got you. But the thing that ruined it for me is that it's just so not the solution is to get a second dog. Like that, it's not going to help that dog not tear up your house. So that part just like was a glaring like, no, what are you doing? But the emotion level was there. But yeah, um, what was I going to say? Oh, I did not expect to have a menopause related ad during a Super Bowl. That was
No,
unexpected.
that was interesting.
Yeah,
A Jonas brother in a diabetes ad. That was interesting.
yeah. I thought that was one that was like it was just an effective ad in the sense that it showed like how it's used. So it wasn't like it was almost that is it Dexcom was like the
Yeah,
most. It was an ad that could have been. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't a Super Bowl ad. Like it was just as
right.
much an ad you'd see on a regular Tuesday in April than it would be on the Super Bowl, and so could have been better, but like it wasn't bad. He's like one of the more prominent
No,
known people that has diabetes, and so he's a good like face for it and stuff. Not the
yeah, and
diabetes guy from back in the day. Although I should have had him. Is he alive? Maybe he's not alive. I shouldn't revoke that if he.
Wilford Brimley.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
but like have him
Um,
show up. The Jonas
or
brother,
like
Nick Jonas,
handing off the baton.
or have Jonas or have Nick Jonas be like saying diabetes like that, like giving a nod to. I'm gonna write their next commercial for
Oh,
him.
that would have been funny. That would have been funny.
Oh, good times. So yeah, overall, I was a
Good
little
times.
disappointed, but there's some good stuff. I still enjoy it. I'm glad I watched. I enjoy football, so I like the game as well. But yeah, I feel like it's an opportunity. I think a lot of people in our industry, knowing that yeah, it doesn't mean you completely fail because every commercial lands, especially when you have a huge budget, but are like, I'm guessing next year is going to be hopefully a lot better because I think everyone was like, we didn't do it this year. Like this was generally poorly received. And
Hmm.
so I'm hoping they're a lot better next year.
Yeah, especially after they hear our reviews.
Yeah. So yeah, if you
Yeah,
want, and also Camden Burnett, Josh Shear, if you want to, we're happy to work on any of this stuff for you. So
we've got ideas.
I've written. This is how much of a nerd I am about it. I have like shot for shot written out ads for big brands I've never worked on yet. That like spec ads I want to do. That could like I'm ready. I've got a Nike ad ready to go that I feel strongly about. Just need to just need them to want to use it. Or I need a spec ad. This is my anybody out there who's listening to this. If you are willing to help me shoot a spec ad, and I'll give you full production credit for it. I need someone who's got good cameras, can help me get some good talent. I need someone to help me shoot a spec ad, and we'll launch it, and it'll be fun, and you can be on brand to talk about it. Please let me know.
Okay. Ooh, let's do that. That would be
Was it
fun.
Johnny Walker that someone shot a spec ad just for fun for like I think it was Johnny Walker and then ended up getting a deal with them, like getting paid to do some stuff for them.
Oh, really?
Maybe it
I
wasn't
do
Johnny
not know this
Walker.
story.
I don't know why that name's coming. Maybe I'm totally messing up the brand, but that's what I thought it was. They cut like a really good. Anyways, I'll look into that. But
It could be us next. I would love to work for Johnny Walker. Let's do something for them.
Okay. I think they sponsored this episode, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny Walker.
Thanks. Keep walking. Is that what they say?
I don't know.
I think it's keep. Thanks,
I'm
Johnny
just
Walker.
gonna drink it. Yeah, they dropped a case off. All right. Well, good chat. We'll do more soon, probably.
Yep.
I suppose.
See you soon.